The first crack of bone didn't just echo in my chest, it echoed in my world. I collapsed on the cold kitchen floor, my ribs a cage of fire, my brother's fist the key that had unlocked it. Mom hovered, her face pale, lips trembling. "Stay quiet," she whispered. "He has a future." Her words were a verdict. My silence was supposed to be my burden. The ambulance siren blurred into a static hum. The doctor didn't hesitate. He palpated my ribs, frowned, and said words I hadn't expected to hear. "This isn't minor. Someone's going to pay if this is deliberate." For the first time, justice didn't feel like a joke. I remember the boy I used to call my brother, when we shared secrets, when he laughed at the same terrible jokes, when I thought his success would be mine by proxy. We grew up in the same walls, but in different shadows. He always had ambition. I had faith. And faith, I learned, can be weaponized against you. It started with small things. Missing money from my wallet. Lies about school, about friends, about his grades. I thought it was adolescent rebellion until the patterns became evidence. The betrayal wasn't sudden. It was a slow, deliberate erosion of trust. The moment I found his messages on Mom's phone, threats, manipulations, confessions about getting away with hurting me, I felt the ice settle in my chest. Betrayal has a shape, and it's sharp. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I counted, I cataloged. Every incident, every bruise, every whispered instruction from Mom to let it go became data. I drew maps of his schedule, his friends, his vulnerabilities. Every action I took from that point was deliberate, surgical. I became the shadow, the observer. He was careless, I was patient. The plan started with exposure. I documented everything, texts, receipts, medical reports. I didn't need revenge in a scream. I needed it in inevitability. I leaked carefully, strategically, to people whose silence mattered. Friends who had adored him, teachers who had enabled him, the neighbors who had turned their heads. Each revelation was a domino. He fell in the court of public perception long before he faced it in reality. Financial leverage came next. My father's accounts, the family business, anything he assumed was untouchable, I touched. I didn't steal, I rerouted. I documented, traced, secured. When the auditors came, his cornered lies unraveled. The look on his face when they found the discrepancies, half anger, half disbelief, was worth the months of planning. I waited for the social confrontation like a sniper waits for a target. It happened at the family dinner he had assumed would cement his dominance. I didn't speak at first. I let the tension stretch, let the knife of expectation hover over his smugness. Then I spoke, slow, precise. The words landed like stones. His friends left, his allies retreated. Mom, silent at first, finally turned and saw him as I had. For a moment, she didn't recognize the boy she had coddled, only the man she had excused. "You've hurt me," I said. "You've hurt us. And you thought silence would protect you. You thought power was your shield. But every shield has a crack. Every power has a limit." The collapse was quiet, humiliating. No fists, no screams, just realization. The boy who had shattered my ribs, my trust, my childhood, understood for the first time that his future wasn't a blank canvas. It was a mirror, and he didn't like what he saw. Even then, I didn't gloat. I observed. I let the consequences sink in. The legal filings, the public shame, the isolation, they weren't acts of vengeance. They were acts of inevitability. He had built a house of cards with my pain as the foundation. I simply blew the air through it. Afterward, the silence was different. It wasn't oppressive. It was earned. I sat with my healing ribs, the bruises fading, but the lessons permanent. Mom finally spoke, her voice small, vulnerable. I I didn't see it. I nodded, but I didn't forgive. Some bridges, once burned, illuminate the way forward rather than the way back. I think about the night I planned it all, laying out every detail, counting every domino, calculating every second. That was the night I understood something vital. Power is not in the fist, or the privilege, or the expectation of protection. Power is in the mind that refuses to be broken and the patience to wait until justice doesn't need to be demanded, it just arrives. My brother is free in the world, but not untouched. His ambition, once a spear, is now a weight. His future, once assumed to be invincible, now requires navigation around the consequences of his own making. And I walk unshaken, my ribs scarred but my resolve unbroken, a silent testament to the fact that some betrayals are met not with cries, but with calculated, undeniable justice. I learn to fight without violence, to strike without hands, to win without anger. That is the revenge that echoes forever.